Alright guys, it's Hank here. I'm going to try and do a little bit of patching. I was ambushed the other day by some super mutants. One of them was a Nightkin, one of them was a Suicider, and then there was two normal mutants while I was attempting to engage some raiders that were moving across a bridge. And all I was really trying to do was fast travel between settlements. And what I've found now that I reached Gun Nut 2, I actually expected to be able to make some good modifications to the AKM and to the service rifle, the Fallout 4 New Vegas assault rifle, or a service rifle rather, and I've just found it to be number one, the perk requirements are too high to make any kind of useful modifications early enough to be able to make them effective, usable weapons. And the super mutants, I had to dump 2 full clips of 7.62 millimeter ammunition out of that AKM into that super mutant. So, I mean, I had to chem up, drug up, jet, orange mentats. I got my arm broken with a sledgehammer. I had to shoot the super mutant at point blank range with a broken arm, and then fortunately I was already inside Sunshine Tidings co-op, so I had my settlers to help me. I also had a little bit of defenses to help me, and then I was able to use the surgery kit, and I had the blood and everything else to be able to actually rest up and friggin' get past it. But I realized, okay, those are not viable weapons, and I've got to get remote explosives in and up to power. So I've already downloaded, I'm taking out the AKM, so what I did is I went over and just dumped them so they won't screw up my load order or anything. Like as far as getting back into the game, like I took them out of my inventories and just threw them in a lake. Okay, then I got to get rid of, I've already dropped this old service rifle. So what I'm going to do is load, first I'm going to load the Wasteland Melodies assault rifle, or service rifle rather, and I've loved this. I've used it before in previous seasons, and it was effective. And the perk requirements were right, the crafting materials were right, everything about it was right. I did have to modify the damage for better locational damage, but it was just fine. So I'm going to go back to what I know and love compared to all the wacky, bizarre, perk requirements. Yeah, I'm going to overwrite that. Let's see. Trying to think here, what would be the smartest way to do this. Because I have to put an animation in. It's a Chinese assault rifle animation, so I'm gonna do the Chinese assault rifle because I love this, and this is gonna be what I'm gonna put it instead of the AKM, because I've found that the handmade rifles are you can design variants that are close enough to AKs anyway. And I think it's designed a little bit better. I just think the AKM is a little bit antiquated, and the only reason I put it in is because it worked with visible weapons, but visible weapons is not something I really use that much or care that much for. And it requires so much extra patching and all that crap. So let's go ahead and put this in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out Fallout 4 edit, and we're going to get in and try and do something with the remote explosives, and then I'll show you guys how to create a merged patch, so things will all come in, spawn in at the right levels and stuff. So the next thing I think probably I should do would be animations. And I'll show you where I'll put them in load order and everything. So right now I'm at about 138 active mods. Most of my active plugins are, you know, VIS-G patches and better locational damage patches and stuff like that. Sometimes Armorsmith workbench patches too. I took the game configuration menu out too, by the way, because it was seeming to conflict with PA-NPC, which has got its own spawn rates, and game configuration menu was overriding those spawn rates. So when I took it out, that's when I got ambushed, like I expected I should, by those two different groups. I was wondering why I wasn't catching ambushes on the road, and that was why. And make sure I don't have any other AKM patches. Actually, I'll just ghost them. I'll show you guys how to do that too. So we got the we've got the animation in next, and then I think the next thing to do is put the Balkalite magazine in. Or Bakelite, I don't know how to pronounce it. And the most recent texture patch for that. Now, I have not used this magazine mod here yet, but I kind of wanted to see what it's all about. Of course, I'm going to give them endorsements until I have a reason not to. All right, and then I'm going to put in the service rifle. I'm going to uninstall this one totally. Don't need it, don't want it, you're gone. I mean, it's a good functioning rifle. It's a solid rifle. The animations are brilliant. The side charge receiver, I mean, it's all very cool. It's just not for me. There's another version I just like better. But it's certainly a quality mod. Taking out the China Lake and the hollow rifle because I badly want the M79 Thumper. And as I get in tonight and show you how ignorant I am when it comes to modifying things in Fallout 4 Edit, you'll realize why I don't really want to try and modify the M79 Thumper, because I want to take out all the Sabot rounds and all the bullshit that comes with it. I just want it to launch 40mm grenades. I don't need all that swapping, and it's just so much in there I just don't need. I like to boil things down as simple as possible. We'll put the 50 caliber heavy machine gun in. Now with better locational damage, I can't carry heavy weapons if I'm not in power armor without being kind of encumbered. So, but I just think this is going to be an interesting 50 to add into the game that I'd like to play with. Even if I have to, you know, maybe if I do have to wear power armor for some reason at some point. It's not my style, but... And I haven't used it yet, but everything Wasteland Melody has done has been impressive and flawless. So definitely something I want to try. And then I'm adding in the service rifle expansion project, which works in conjunction with Wasteland Melody's service rifle. And this will just, you know, give up what appears to be a whole shit ton of new attachments. And it also works in conjunction with the RU556 that I have in here, that I fully intend to use, so it improves both of them. But I just didn't want to spawn in the RU-556. It's something I actually want to get out of the game. I don't want to. I'm not that kind of guy that spawns everything in at an early level. I test it. If I like the test, then I know, okay, I'm going to include it in the game. Same thing with this Sig Sauer MPX. It's triple degree badass, but for now, I'm only using the Mac 11 because it's more common. So I don't expect to use that until a higher level. I don't just, because I am trying to create a full level of survival immersion, I'm not going to cheat in that way. I'm trying to keep my own sense of balance. So let's go ahead and add this in. So I don't think there's anything else I need to do with this. Now I have the Scar, which I was thinking about adding, but I never like to get over 150 active mods, and I want to leave myself enough room to play around with explosives, because that's what I'm really trying to learn how to develop, or get some help in development to make remote explosives and other types of field explosives viable for the survival immersion experience. Like the RPG 7B2, I really like it, but the problem that I have with it is I don't know how to VIS-G tag it, and I'm not entirely certain that I'm modifying the explosion damages properly. And somewhere along the line, when I tried in like season 4, I tried to get a fucking, and I mean that, 40mm grenade for the M79 launcher to have a VIS-G icon, so it would be properly tagged, because it drives me crazy not to have things properly tagged in VIS-G. And for whatever reason, it fucked my entire game up, and I was very disappointed. Okay, and I did add the deployable turret pack. I haven't modified any of the damages on that yet, but I kind of want to see how that plays. I've got Dogmeat holding it right now, a 32 caliber right now. And the VSV rifle I was thinking about, it's kind of like the it's got a lot of different variants, but it's kind of, there's also a sniper rifle version to it as well. I would be interested in experimenting with. I've heard the accuracy's kind of fucked up on it, but you can fix that in Fallout 4 Edit. And I believe on that mod page, there's somebody that left a comment, I forget who, actually tells you exactly how he changed it so it would actually strike over distance. And now I'm going to add the remote explosives. And I'm going to add it with the wave sounds. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the wave sounds and see how it sounds first, because BiRaitBec has already done a phenomenal job with his merged audio. And if you get the opportunity to use his installation guide, you've got to definitely look at all the mod authors that have been involved with his merged visuals, audios, and fixes. Stuff right here, merged appearance. I mean, he's got tons and tons of mod authors who have contributed, and he's organized and patched, I mean, bashed together, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So frankly, I need to get over and break it apart, the newest version, and give endorsements. I've been kind of busy, so I want to do a once I kind of get an idea of how this is going to fully work, I'll do a credit sequence, a rolling credit sequence, like I did for one of the previous seasons. All right, well, I'm definitely going to put in the standard leveled lists because I do my own leveled lists. And you'll notice that I didn't add the workbench patch that's available for remote explosives, because I want to be able to build them at the chemistry workbench. So I can make those field modifications. And then this is going to give me VIS-G support for fading signal stuff, because I'm using the optics already. And you've got to put in the CTD fix, of course, for remote explosives. Don't forget to get that mod if you're going to use remote explosives. Okay, I think that covers it in the mod manager, and we're going to hold off on the wave sounds, so I don't want to overwrite anything if it looks good already. I'm not using the Beretta or the MREs. I'm okay with that. And I'm not using this anymore. I'll show you guys how to get rid of that. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm taking remote explosives, and it's going to go above my better locational damage, and it's going to go in at the bottom of my weapons. So there's my deployable turrets, so it's going to go in right above that. And then the patch for it is going to go right below it. Although your patch really could be at the bottom of your load list. I'm just obsessive compulsive about staying organized. The better, if you stay organized, you're just better off. Alright, the service rifle can go up into the weapons section. I'll put that up right below the MPX, which is the Sig Sauer submachine gun. Now, actually, to be smart, I'm going to put it below the RU-556, because the expansion package affects both of those. Service rifle expansion project. Chinese assault rifles got to go up. So it overwrote for the Chinese assault rifle, and basically just created one ESP, which is fine. And it's going to go above my 50 caliber. This 50 caliber is brilliant. I love it. It would be nice for it to have see-through scopes compatibility. So I could change the reticle, but it is what it is. Heavy machine gun is going to go up. Probably below the other 50 caliber. And the service rifle expansion project is going to go right beneath the service rifle and the RU-556 in that order. So this has got one cast in RU-556, so I'm going to actually switch where they are in my load order. The computer's running a little slow right now. I don't know why, because I've got a shit ton of stuff. I'm not really processing anything right at the moment. Okay. And then I'm just going to ghost these because I don't need them. And what I'll end up doing is reinstalling or this will be fine down here because basically this is just the patch that gives the workbench and VIS-G support for creating signal mods. Unfortunately, this AWKCR might screw me and make it so I can only craft remote explosives from a workbench, which would kind of piss me off. And I don't know how to make VIS-G patches, so I guess we're just going to have to go with it for now and hope for the best. And if it's not chemistry bench craftable, then, well, it is what it is. Alright, everything in my load order list looks good. And I'm going to just export this for today. And I'm done with this for now. So this is where we were. Service rifle expansion project. Wasteland Melody service rifle. Chinese assault rifle. The heavy machine gun. Alright, let's bust open Fallout 4 edit. And I'm just going to load everything. You don't have to. So I got a VIS-G patch for... See, I've got two different types. This is the universal and this is Schnips. So I'm using the universal VIS-G for the RU-556 as opposed to the Schnips. And then okay, this is loading right now. This is in the load, so you can see the things that I've ghosted and stuff before. So we're just going to go ahead and load that. Let me make sure everything's right. So I'll end up having to use wire bash by the time it's over. So I can show you guys how to create the right patch, the right leveled list patch to fit with better locational damage. Okay. Now I want to look at first what's going to be important to look at. I've taken notes on this stuff, so I'm going to pull my better explosives redo, explosion, Fat Man Explosion is what I want. So you can see the difference, and I talked about this the other day. So this is what I'm gonna try and emulate. So it's Fat Man Actor Force Explosion. That's what I'm gonna try and emulate for the remote explosives. Let's see if I'm able to do this. Okay, explosion for... Okay, it's not there. Okay. So, explosive nuke. Maybe this is it. Weapon type Nuke-A-Mine. Weapon type explosive thrown. So it's not actually, so the keyword is remote explosive. Let's see what happens live. The weight is 12. I want to get that down. So, you know, it's, you know, a little bit of confusion on my part right now. Is it, if I modify this weight, is it just the thrown, the one I'm carrying in my inventory, and then this is live? I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what that means. I just don't, and I don't know what token mean. I mean, I'm just gonna have to leave it as it is, because I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here. It's like I'd like to modify the pulse charges. Gosh, all this is just something I need so bad, and it's underpowered. So spell maybe? No. Transform? Remote nuke? I have no idea. Okay. Projectile. Remote nuke. Okay, so explosion, Fat Man Explosion. So I guess this is the keyword. Let me go down and see. I'm still trying to understand this here. Form ID. You know, I could definitely use some help understanding this. So the explosion, I think, is what I want to modify here. Remote explosive nuke. Remote explosive remote nuke. Explosion, Fat Man Explosion. Let me go back down and look at this here. Fat Man Explosion. 1A7FF2. 1A7. So it should, by my guess, because Better Explosives Redo is lower in my load order list, it should, I would think, deliver the new Fat Man Explosion damage. So I guess I'm not going to modify it for now. If I'm wrong, I'd like to know. So, you know, I'm willing to put in the work for sure. I just don't understand it. There's explosives, and the VIS-G tagging is a little bit beyond me. And it's not that I don't want to play with it. It's just that I friggin' lost everything in Season 4 because I got to dicking around with one 40mm grenade, and because I wanted one icon so everything would match in VIS-G, and I about lost my friggin' mind to lose that setup. Alright, so we added the service rifle, and what we can do with this is there's object modification, and there's actual weapon here. And I'm just going to do the easy peasy, better locational damage patcher script. And you see where it picks up automatic receiver, changes it, and all that stuff. Advanced receiver and changes it. And then you need to kind of run the same script here. And that should cover that. And then for this, I'm going to do the same thing. I've already modified the RU556, I think, a while back. Let's just try it again. There's no harm in making sure that it's done. And then, so that should take care of that. And we need to do the Chinese assault rifle. You can run it up here like this. And it'll catch everything in the whole thing if you want to do it a little bit easier. I like to kind of look at what it is. Now, the regulator is not tagged for VIS-G, and neither is the hat that you find in that graveyard area. I forget what it's called, where you pick up the regulator. There's a hat that'll give you some luck, which is it's a cool hat that's not tagged. And if I could understand VIS-G tagging and patching a little bit better, that would be ideal. But I asked Kingath about it, and he said he didn't know when it comes to tagging, and I couldn't really find any tutorials or anything like that was very effective, because I guess VIS-G is so fairly new. And the other thing about VIS-G that I'm not particularly wild about is the fact that it'll hide all your valuables. So the only way that like when you're doing sales and you're selling all your stuff off, the valuables are actually kind of hidden from you. It keeps you from using up, say your pre-war money as cloth, but you actually have to scroll through your primary menu to find your valuables. I think that that menu needs to be moved, into the junk category or somewhere else. You can actually find it when you're trying to sell everything really quickly. Let's do object modification on this. And if I find that the damages are insufficient, then I'll just come in and manually modify them, as I have done with some other things before. All right, so we're done with this, I believe, and I'm just going to have to take it on faith for now that Better Explosives Redo, since it's lower in my load order list, is going to supplement that Fat Man explosion. Don't know, but we're going to test it and find out. Okay. And this auto saves when you close. You just back it up, close it out. And now I'm going to take a look at wire bash. So I can ghost what I don't need, and so I might actually have, you know, go figure. Of course I fucking wouldn't have Wasteland melodies stuff in here in the VIS-G patches. Unfucking believable, isn't it? Of all the things, there's the two things I'm looking for are not there. All right. Let's take a look at this. Masters. It might be possible to kind of take out the not making it really easy for me to get inside of this menu now, is it? All right, we need that. We need armor keywords, armor smith extended, remote explosive, the tactical harness, the optics. But do I want the keywords applied to this? I'm going to leave it alone because I don't know if removing those keywords would completely fuck everything up, or if it would actually just take out forcing you to use an explosives workbench to design it. Oh, here we go. Service rifle for... Oh, no, it's the wrong one. So what I'm going to do is just ghost that. And ghost this one too. All right. Let's go up here and check it out. You know, basically I'm just putting my ignorance on display here today, so you guys know, you know, people that understand how to mod and what kind of tutorials, you know, could be made, what some really good questions to answer would be. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rebuild patch. Let me take a look. It should say delev and relev. Take a look. There it is. You got to make sure that you've got those bash tags in, delev and relev, on your better locational damage leveled list, because this is what it's going to attach everything that's selected as far as spawning in through this bash patch. So what I'm going to do is just rebuild that patch, and you can see it's got everything that can be attached as masters in here, and then it's going to change the records of all the you know, weapon mods and stuff I've added in. So let's just rebuild that. Okay, following mods have master file errors. Shit. I don't think that's a big deal because I don't have either one of these things. So let's cancel. Let me look again at this thing. I really want to think it through here, because this has got like a dark red check for it. I don't know why. Let's see if I can. I guess it's looking to combine those things that are missing in it. I don't know. I'm just going to try and rebuild patch and hope. Master file errors. I can still proceed if I want to. I'm just going to go with it. Missing masters, I guess, just means that's because I don't have those mods loaded in. And I would consider putting the M9 and the MRE in. Because they're cool. I just haven't really been interested in loading a 9mm round into the game. Because for God's sakes, we've got 45, which is bigger than 9. We've got 10mm, which is bigger than 9. We got 32, which is smaller than 9. We got 5mm, which is smaller than 9. And it's like, how much difference are we really gonna get between 9mm and 10mm? I mean, just, you know, the significant increase would be between I mean, frankly, 10mm and 45 are much closer in comparison than 9mm. If I was to, you know, do a full game design, I wouldn't have 10mm. I would have 45 and 9mm. And I just don't want to load 9mm ammunition into the game. That's fine. Build patch. So I know this is not exact. This is just, you know, one of those mod discussion type of things. And it's going to drive me crazy when I go in to play, because I know my shit is not going to be properly friggin' tagged. But, c'est la vie. Having anything improperly tagged just drives me fucking nuts. And I really liked I really liked Vladisil's sorting the last menu. This new one is fine. It's good. I like it. It's simple. It's taking me a little bit of time to get used to where the ammunition and stuff is laid out. All right. It's been Hank. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.